Hey man, welcome back to episode 26 of Beyond the Game. Man, my name is Jordan. I'm your host. I'm with the quarterback, Brandon Bullens. Man, how you doing today, B?
Pretty good, Jordan. Appreciate you having me on again. Always
Man,
good to sit down and talk some ball with you.
of course. Nobody better do it with than Brandon Bullens, huh? But man, our game of the week this week, it took us out to Charlotte. Oh man, it was an interesting one. We're in what is this, nine? Week nine of high
Yeah.
school football. We're Football season took forever to get here, but we're getting through it. The number 10 team in the state, Charlotte Independence, made a statement against Mallard Creek last night. They beat Mallard Creek 35-0. 35-0 is crazy. They they really got the game started with 21 points in the first quarter. I think that really opened up the game and made the difference in the game. Charlotte Independence finished the game with, what was it, 50 carries for about, ooh, hold on. I think they had about 300 rushing yards. Yes, they had 50 carries for 313 rushing yards. They were averaging 6.3 yards per carry. Charlotte Independence only threw the ball 12 times and had three passing touchdowns on that though. They only completed seven passes. I don't even know where to start in this game. I I get Brand. We will pick up with we'll start with the running game. The running game was really the difference in the game. Mallard Creek had 18 carries for 73 yards. They're still averaging about 4 yards a carry, but you talk about 50 times. I mean, we played for a coach that didn't mind handing the ball off 50 times a game, but
At all.
like
At all.
what kind of talk about it like what does this do for the offense as for the quarterback, like what, because this is just imposing your will on the team.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the biggest thing that comes to mind whenever you're able to successfully hand the ball off 50 times, or even if you can get 25 successful runs in a game, you're doing pretty well, right? But
Yeah,
the fact that you're handing the ball off 50 times, it's taken a lot of stress out of the pass game, off the quarterback's shoulders, off the receiver's shoulders. Now I'm sure those guys are probably like, Coach, man, throw me a fade or something. But even then,
yeah.
like you said, they had three passing touchdowns, so it's not like they had a slow day through the pass game either. So all the way around, it looked like a really good game for Independence.
But I think that's how I- hell, you had the ball off 50 times, you still got receivers that you got to keep happy,
Hmm.
and all of us would like 5, 8, hell, 10 catches a game, but if I can get in the box, if I can score a touchdown, that makes everything else is all right. Everything's all good. But to see, I don't even 50 fucking times is ridiculous. And then their defense though, they just showed up and they showed up and showed out. I mean, granted, they probably weren't on the field. I'm not sure exactly what the time of possession was for this, but they couldn't have been on the field long. I mean, granted, you were rushing for 6 yards a carry. They had some gashing runs in there, but it just seemed like they were really chewing up the clock. But like how much of this is how much of it is, I guess, like game planning and coaching versus just like player execution?
I think there's a bit of both that goes into each game, obviously, but I want to say that I don't think Independence went into that game expecting to have to run the ball or was willing to run the
Mm,
ball 50 times. You know, you look
50.
at the time of possession, or you look at, like you said, the first quarter where they're up 21 nothing in the first. Why would you risk giving them some life by throwing the ball? You know, if you throw a pick, they go down and score. Now it's a two-score game, right? So why not just bleed the clock, make them be the team that has to go down and score on you three times before you even make but before you even have to really start worrying about trying to throw the ball again. So that was probably their game plan going into it, was to try to throw the ball a little bit more. But once you're up 21 nothing, hey, just bleed the clock. You know, let's make them. They're already on the ropes. Let's just keep kind of applying the pressure on them.
Yeah, so that, I mean, they had running back Jaden Jones had 22 carries for 162 yards and a touchdown. They had a receiver that had one carry for 52 yards. But he had three catches for 55 and a touchdown. Man, like, just what does it really do for a team, like a mentality, like mentality wise though, to, well, on one side to go up 21-0 that fast on one of the best teams in the state, but then to be one of the best teams in the state and be down 21-0.
Yeah, from the independent standpoint, it's definitely imposing your will, like you said. They went into that game with a chip on their shoulder, knowing they're going to play a better team in the state. So they try to really go in and prove a point, in which they did. Now, from the flip side of it, Mallard Creek, you also have to still have that belief in yourself, looking up at the scoreboard, saying, "Hey, we're down three scores, but we are one of the best teams in the state. Let's rally the
Yeah.
troops. Let's gather. Let's get everybody on the same page. Let's refocus and let's go get just one play at a time. Right? Let's get one first down. After that, okay, let's get another one. Okay, after that, let's go get a score." Now you're kind of slowly working your way back in the game because you're not Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Like you're not going to put up 21 points in one play. So
Oh yeah.
let's just get one play where it's a touchdown. Let's get three drives where we end up in scores. Now from that point you swing the momentum back in your favor, and from there you're able to continue on the original game plan. But once again, Malik Creek doesn't look like they did that too well last night.
Are you watching this film if you're Mallard Creek?
It's going to be a tough watch for sure. It's going to be a tough
I don't
watch.
even. I think this is one of those games you just flush it. Like you gotta flush it and just come back next week because you can't take anything from this game. 35-0, 35-0. I
Mhm.
and but so like if you're, I think Mallard Creek is now 1-2 in the conference. I think they fell to 5-3. Yeah, 5-3. Independence is now 6-2, 2-1 in their conference. Like as as the coach for Mallard Creek, kind of what is your message, or like what are you saying to your team this week?
So it's tough because with two losses in conference, the conference title, which I think we all kind of know, Malik Creek is not necessarily overly worried about winning a conference championship these days.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but I think the overall message still is like, hey, even with two losses, that's not our goal at the end of the day. We can still make a really deep run in these playoffs and shock a lot of people. A lot of people are counting us out at this point. So
mm,
why not try to just stick to what we're doing, make some noise in the playoffs, and if we mess around and do really well, we can end up 100% end up back in the state championship contention, or 100% end up in a state championship game. So that's, if I was Mallard Creek's coach, that would be my message to the team.
yeah. I mean, what would you say being able to just turn around and hand the ball off during a game, like what does that do for the offense? Because clearly they created some explosive plays off of that. But like, can you kind of talk about like what it does for the safeties, the linebackers, and the corners when your front seven or your defensive line just isn't getting any push?
hmm Yeah. So from the defensive standpoint, you are now so worried about any type of run. From the defensive coordinator standpoint, we're trying to figure out what schemes offensively they're running the ball with. Is it an inside zone, outside zone? Is it mid zone? Is it jet sweep? Is it power counter, ISO double
Mm,
duo, whatever it is? You're trying to figure that out while the game's going on. Like, you have an idea, obviously,
Yeah,
game plan going into the game, but if they're throwing something new at you that you're not prepared for, which might have been the case in this game, you are now in a situation where you're back up against the wall. You're trying to figure it out mid-game and try to scheme something while the game's going on. And once again, these are high school players, right? Like, they might have not ever seen ISO trap before, an ISO
yeah,
play, trap play,
yeah.
or something. So they're trying to figure it out on the fly as well. These guys are 15 years old. They're it's just like running circles around in their head. They don't know what's going on. But either way, yeah, you're just so worried from a defensive standpoint about what's going on up front. You're going to roll down an extra safety into the box. You're going to try to get an extra linebacker on the field to help stop the run. But once again, it looks like Independence said, okay, you got one more, doesn't matter. We're still getting 6 yards of pop on you.
But I'm like, at some point we're going cover zero. Like, I don't care if they're throwing it over our head at this point. They're literally lining up the ball. They're lining up saying me versus you, we're winning.
Mhm.
I'm putting nine in the box. We're playing one on the outside, and somebody do something. Somebody
8
has
a.m. full court press, man. Let's go.
bro. Because I just that's just not something, especially not in today's football where you just see a team turn around and hand the ball off 50 fucking times. Like, this is not Michigan. Like, like, oh my goodness. But I just, I mean, like you were saying though, for Mallard Creek is, I think you still have to. I think you're still, everything's still ahead of you because hey, this is clearly a tough conference, and so we get back rolling next week. We can go into the playoffs with two, three, maybe even four losses and have an opportunity to win a state championship. No, that's not at all what coaches want to, like. That's not what you don't want your team to be there or think that. But after losing three games, you still want them to think and know that the season isn't over because you don't want people quitting or hell. Even nowadays, we see the way we see it in college football, but even now in high school, like kids looking to transfer or go somewhere else,
Hmm.
looking for new opportunity, man. And so I think that's definitely. Uh, it's, I salute the hats off to coaches everywhere nowadays because everywhere except for the NFL, it's a player's game. Like, the players have the freedom, they have the ability, and now you even see like here in North Carolina, like I think North Carolina is one of the states where high school athletes can get NIL, and so like I
Hmm.
just is salute to them because I just you see Nick Saban got out of it, I wouldn't even get in it at this point because this is crazy, man. But let's just take a look at some of the other games around the state, man. Grimsley, Grimsley just continues to roll. We'll see if anybody can beat them. Anybody can. It seems like so far, I think West at the beginning of the season. I think we got a Grimsley Huff game week one. I think those have kind of been the two biggest challenges for Grimsley, but they continue to roll. They beat Page 48-14. Cardinal Gibbons gets the win over Middle Creek 40-14. Number 13 Hoggart beats Laney 28-14. Number 8 Cleveland from oh they go Cleveland from out east heads out to Charlotte or Raleigh. They go out to Raleigh and beat Southeast Raleigh 28-10. That just kind of reminded me. Don't look now, but Grimsley, I mean not Grimsley, Dudley is rolling, and Walkertown has not lost a game outside of that Reedsville game, and they have been dominating people. Uh, I don't know what was going to play out between those two teams. I mean, Walkertown has they've kind of been what they've been since the season started. They've been a really good team, but we were a little worried about Dudley, and it kind of seemed like once they beat, it was either Southeast or Northeast Raleigh. Once they beat one of those teams, though, they really got it rolling. Um, But number nine, Mooresville beat Davie County 42-9. East Forsyth beats Northwest Guilford. Number 22, East Forsyth beats Northwest Guilford 21-7. Oh, number 16, Charlotte Catholic ended up they lost a tough one last night. Well, number 18, Charlotte Catholic, to Marvin Ridge 7-3. That was an ugly football game. And then a team that just not that long ago had score that looked like it was like 7-6. Oak Grove took on Mount Tabor and they put up 52 points. They beat Mount Tabor 52-14. Brandon, what would you say just from last night? What scores kind of stand out to you?
Well, I think the one that stands out to me the most is this last game that we just talked about, this Oak Grove game in Mount Tabor.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was correct. You're absolutely right. Not even just that long ago, Oak Grove took on, I believe it was Reagan, and that score finished 7-6,
Yeah.
and that was just like, what defense are both of those guys running? Where you can only get 7 points or one touchdown, whichever way you want to look at it. But it looks like they've figured out something offensively or found
Hmm.
an exploit in Mount Tabor's defense that they were able to take advantage of. And same thing for Mount Tabor, putting up 42 points is no slack.
Yeah.
So both sides of the ball did their thing, offensively at least, and I know defensively they're going to have a lot to clean up on for both teams.
I'm gonna keep asking this question until it happens. Who beats Grimsley? And I don't even
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know or think Faison Brandon is playing their 5-star quarterback. I don't think he's. I don't know what his health situation is with his hand and everything, but I don't know if he's out for the season or if they're just kind of hell. We don't need him, so we'll save him to the playoffs. Like I don't know, but they're rolling, and I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'm interested in seeing what Dudley is going to do and what Walkertown is going to do because I think they got a damn good team over there in Walkertown. Um, but we'll definitely keep our eye out on those 7 and 8A state championship playoffs because hey, don't sleep on West Forsyth though because West was the team that really gave Grimsley a run for their money. And if it wasn't for honestly, a bad touchdown, that a pass that was dropped in the end zone that they called a touchdown, it probably would have been a one possession game with the ball in West Forsyth's hand. Who knows what happens? Um, so I think we'll just have you talked to Braden Jeffries, the quarterback for Dudley? What's his kind of thoughts on the season so far and how they
Yeah,
turned it around?
I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks, but the last time I talked to him, they were obviously starting to get on a roll in terms of winning games. I think at that point they won two or three in a row after starting off, I believe, either 0-2 or 0-3.
Yeah, they
But
started
obviously
rough.
now, the main message that we were both on the same page about was like, hey, we still have everything in front of us. We played a couple tough
Hmm.
teams early on. Doesn't mean that we are a lesser team or this that, or whatever kind of negative thoughts are going on in anybody's head. It's like, nah, man, like we need to push that stuff out, focus
Yeah.
on the next game, next drive, next play, and then from there we can continue to kind of build our foundation, and then play several games down the line where you can collect those wins. And obviously they've been able to do that. So like I think we're what 5 or 6 weeks in a row now where they've just done nothing but win. It hasn't been
Dominate.
pretty each week, but they've
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
So
But
which is
I
great
think
to see.
that's also the thing too because they've had games that they've dominated, but there's also been it's just finding ways to win because I heard someone say it earlier this week. Well, actually, it was kind of talking about. We'll get into it when your sorry ass Bears went and beat my Commanders. Just usually those are games that the Bears find ways to lose. And as many turnovers and as bad as Washington played in that game, Caleb Williams was still what usually find turn the ball over or find a way to lose that game. But I think you're seeing it with Dudley. It yes, they have a strong history, a rich history, and but you're seeing that these players now are really they're really learning and they know how to win like close games, tight games, and which can really be tough for a lot of teams.
For
But man,
sure.
we'll oh go ahead.
And I actually want to talk about going back to Faison Brandon over at Grimsley and the whole NIL thing. I don't know if you remember this, but it was just about, I want to say summertime last year. Him, Faison, and his family were the ones to sue the North Carolina High School Athletic Association
Oh wow.
for NIL. They outright sued and won the case, and so that's what opened up the NIL door for not
Oh
only just Faison but for the rest of the state. Now it's just kind of funny now that we're saying it, like how ironic is it that he wins this case, but now he's not even playing high school football? I
man,
mean,
yeah.
um, yeah. Now, granted, like due to an injury, sure, but it's just funny how that kind of worked out. Ironic in a way.
I didn't even know that that happened. Like what exactly like do you know like the details on that? Like I didn't even know that that was a thing.
Well, I think they had, Faison is the number one quarterback in the country, so
Yeah.
he had NIL opportunities beating down the door to come like sign him or have some type of partnership with him and whatnot. And the family wanted part of the money, or Brandon wanted part of the money, which is 100% fair, right? And with under the North Carolina High School Athletic Association rules and regulations, they couldn't do it.
Mm,
So they said, "Hey, you're actually holding my son out, or you're holding me out on potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in
yeah.
partnerships that has nothing to do with the game of football. Why? How is that fair for
Yeah.
him if just because he's an athlete? Like that. That's
Yeah.
that's completely unfair." And they actually won the case, so they actually opened up NIL for all North Carolina high school athletes.
I think that okay. Do you think now we're talking scales here, okay? Like college we're talking high hundreds of thousands, low millions. NFL you start talking real money. Okay.
Mhm.
But do you think high school athletes having like top tier high school athletes having access to that money affects would start to affect their decision and where they're going for college? Because I think right now so much of it is NIL, and we see a lot of programs is not every program, but a lot of programs is how much money can you pay. And you see what's going on with Texas Tech this year. Texas Tech was a decent football team last year. They put $50 million into that program, and now they're number 7 in the country. And so I guess I think a lot of kids are when they get that opportunity to make some money, they're going to take that money. Especially look at the running back from what was it, Tulane? He went to Oregon. Now he's just sitting on the bench not playing. And so if you come out of high school with a little bit of money in your pocket, do you think that kind of granted no it's not it might be 10 might be $10,000, might be 50, maybe 100, but if do you think that is going to affect people's decisions in like just going somewhere for money like for $500,000?
I 100% think it does. You take that high school athlete who, makes that $10,000. You see how much $10,000 alone can help not even his situation, but even just his family's. If it might
Mm,
be an underprivileged kid from like a bad part of town or whatever, $10,000 would go an extremely far away. So who's not to say that that kid who, let's say he's a really good athlete, right, is going to go play high Division 1 football. If Alabama, for example, is throwing $10 million in NIL in his face, Oregon comes and steps it up to 12 million, and then Ohio State throws it up to 15. It's just a bidding game at that point. And he's saying, wow, this $10,000 alone helped me and my mom and my family and whoever so much. Imagine what this 15 million can do for us. So
yeah.
that's just a really big thing. I think it's more to it than what meets the eye of, okay,
Oh, I
yeah, the
agree.
kid is at the end of the day making this amount of money, but he's not keeping all that money. He's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go send it back to the family. He's gonna help out whoever has helped him out along the way, or at least he should. Hopefully that's the case for a lot of these guys. But either way, yeah, man, it's definitely a bidding game. It's kind of funny. When we were in Pop Warner, it was pay to play, right? We pay
oh
our
yeah,
$150. We go play. We play our 8 games. Well, now it's pay to play in the reverse or the
yeah.
reverse order. Let's say Texas Tech's coming beating down our door, saying, "Hey, we'll give you this amount of money to come play for us." Like I said, it's a reverse pay to play at this point. It's a bidding war, and whoever's the highest bidder is going to take home the biggest prize.
Yeah, or I would also kind of look at it as in the opposite way, as in, granted, once again we're talking about scales. It's like, but hey, I played varsity for 2 years. I was able to get some NIL my junior year. I made $20,000 in high school. Right? Let's just throwing some numbers out there. Okay, I don't necessarily come from a family that has less. I'm not coming from a lower income situation. And now you offer me this money. I might not necessarily want it or need it, and so it's, even though you're throwing more money at me, I might not. Because I already have a little bit of money in my pocket. It's not too much, but I already have a little bit to where I'm not just, you know I'm not just gonna be relying on the refund check that I get at the beginning of the
Yep.
semester type thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting, and it's going to continue to, because I think North Carolina is one of the very few states that are allowing it in high school. Um, but I think it's going to get interesting because I mean, hell, they're already doing it now. College coaches are paying high school players just to commit to their school, like, and so NIL is it's a slippery slope. There's a lot going on. We'll get back into that a little bit later, man. But
Yeah.
it was week 8 in college football, and it got started. Week 8 started ECU Thursday night, which was a crazy game. ECU uh, pulled out the win. Brent, I actually have a question for you. With ECU playing all of
Hmm.
these Thursday night games, do you think? How do you feel about it? Yeah, how do you? What do you kind of think that does for the team and the program?
Well, it's an interesting situation to be in first and foremost because you sign up for college football, you think, all right, I played my Thursday night games on JV at high school,
Yeah.
played Friday night varsity. Now I'm going back to JV. No, no, no. But in all seriousness, I think it's just a unique situation to be in. I don't think it really does anything one way or another for a team, other than the fact that, like, hey, if we play a game on a Saturday and we got to turn around and play a game on that next Thursday,
Oh
you
yeah.
now have two less games to prepare for that game than what you normally would have. So it's a really quick turnaround for sure. But yeah, like I said, just a unique situation. And
I
honestly, it's good. It's good for viewership for college
Yeah.
football.
That's what I was about to go with it. Oh yeah, but I was just gonna say, like, it. Yes, and I think ECU is doing it for recruiting. I don't know. I'm sure ESPN, uh, they're paying them a little bit of money for it, but I think this is more of a recruiting tactic than anything. Especially with the new head coach trying to rebuild that program, because it wasn't too long ago. ECU was one of the better group of 5 or group of 6 teams. I mean, they still are, but they were the point. ECU was only losing 2-3 games a year, and then they were putting guys in the league. And so I just think that that's where they're trying to get back to. And so they're just trying to get as many primetime games as possible. But we got some. Oh, actually, before we get to these games this week, number 2, Miami just got it put on them by Louisville. And
Mm-mm-mm.
I'll let you start with this one. What were kind of your thoughts on that game?
Well, I remember the last episode that we did, we were talking about Louisville being a unranked, undefeated team, or maybe a one-loss team
A
at that
very
point.
good
We're
team.
sitting at what? Yeah, like a very, very solid team, sitting at 4-1, 5-1, or 5-0, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
they're 5-1
And
now.
we sat there and thought like, hey, this team, even though they're unranked, they are not a team to mess around with, and they proved it. They went out and beat Miami. I believe it was on the road even. So I mean, that's
Oh,
just
they beat.
another.
Was that wasn't Florida State that they beat? Was it?
They were playing a top, I think it was like a 20 ranked team in the country at that point, but they were also undefeated. It was like a group of four, or a group of five
Okay.
school. But either way,
Okay. Okay.
um, but yeah, Louisville, not a team to mess around with. We said it 3 weeks ago, and here they are knocking off the number two team in the country, um, in front of millions of people watching. So that is a very very strong program win that they can definitely carry into the playoffs if
Yeah.
they are now to make it. Which
Oh.
who's not to say at this point that that win gives them a lot of momentum. It gives them a lot of just overall, I guess, confidence. So they definitely have an ability to make a run there.
Don't look now, but Georgia Tech is the only undefeated team in the ACC. Georgia Tech is the only undefeated team in the ACC. Um, but as a person that paid attention to the Georgia Bulldogs last year, this is the Carson Beck we've been waiting to see. This is the Carson Beck that left Georgia last year to go to Miami. This is the Carson Beck that we all looked around like, yes, Georgia had receiver issues last year, but this was the Carson Beck that they knew they couldn't win a national championship with. Four intercept. He had three interceptions and still had a chance to win the fucking game. He had three picks and still had a chance to win the game, and then threw another one. The season isn't over, but boy, if I'm Mario Cristobal, me and my quarterback are having a heart to heart. We gonna have a nice little talk after that one. That four interceptions is crazy because you're not you single okay. I don't want to say single handedly because a number of things go into interceptions. Whether it's receiver being too deep, too shallow, miscommunication. It's just a lot of things that where it just simply doesn't always fall on the quarterback. But out of four, you're not even giving us a chance to win, and
Yeah.
it kind of is what it is. Also, the number 25 Nebraska Cornhuskers go down. Them boys lost to Minnesota. They got
Mm.
not only did they lose, they got beat 24-6. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but all I'll say is, um, Nebraska fans, it's over. Matt Rule's going to Penn State. Matt Rule's going to Penn State, and y'all are going right back in the dump, bro. Nebraska's going right back to the irrelevant Nebraska they've been. Matt Rule to Penn State.
Oh crap! Oh Lord! Speaking of Penn State, they're doing an interview with James Franklin today, so I'm gonna check that out whenever
Oh,
game day
most
comes on. But either way,
definitely. Oh,
gotta check that out.
and then you hear this that this man has to get a job in either media or coaching. Like, it, if I was him, I heard somebody say it. If I was him, I would start me a podcast and I would pay myself $10 just so they can continue to pay me everything else I gotta get paid because they owe this
That's
man
real.
a stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
Hey, in Cincinnati locked in Kurt Signetti. Shout out to them. Okay, one more thing before we get into these games. Did you see how Carolina lost last night?
Um, I saw the one play that I did see. Excuse me. I think Gio Lopez threw like a crosser, and the guy fumbled in the end zone,
Dude,
or fumbled right before the goal line, and they
dude.
recovered it. So I mean, it was a close game at that point. But outside of that, I didn't see anything.
Carolina can't catch a break from the off-field stuff that you're hearing with them Bill's girlfriend running the program, and now this they can't catch a break. How long do you think before Bill Belichick is fired? Because they've got at some point Carolina has to say you've got to save face at some point. A guy that preached no
Yeah.
distraction is the distraction in the building at the moment.
That's real. That is so real. That is 100% real. I was actually talking to my coworker about the opportunity of cutting out distractions from your life, and he is 100%. He is the distraction of that football team. You
Yeah.
come in, you are the holy grail. Like
Oh
you
yes.
you are on a pedestal, being delivered down from the heavens to UNC Chapel Hill, and you have yet to prove anything other than you're dating a 24-year-old for some reason. What
And
what have we
apparently
done?
she's trying to tell professionals how to do graphic design and tell them and all kinds like you know what? That's neither here nor there. Number 10, LSU is taking their talents over to Tennessee. Where I don't know how long it's been, but I know in my damn lifetime, I've never seen Vanderbilt favored going into this kind of game. And Vanderbilt is
Mhm.
a 2 or 2.5 point favorite going into this game. Now, hey, if I was a bet, actually, they lowered the line to 1.5. If I was a bet man, my money would go on LSU. I don't believe in Vanderbilt, but it's just because of what history has shown me. What are your thoughts on this
This is
game?
a yeah, it's a very unique kind of situation for Vanderbilt to be in. Obviously, like you said, historically they have not been a very overall dominant team in the SEC, but now they really have they put themselves on the map with these past like 2 seasons. I'd say obviously sorry Jordan, knocking off Bama last year, and then
Yeah, no, we
obviously so far this year they've played
yeah.
well. But no, honestly, if I'm a betting man, and with the way that LSU's offense has struggled, especially early this season, I would not be surprised if Vanderbilt wins this. I'm going to take Vanderbilt.
But it also wouldn't surprise me if Garrett Nussmeier came out and lit their ass up for 350. Just because we're waiting on one of those Garrett Nussmeier games. And
That we are.
and I don't like Vanderbilt. If they're going to be good, I don't like them. I just don't like them. So I don't like LSU either. But I think if at least we have some sort of rivalry with LSU. I'm gonna take the Tigers in this one.
No.
What is I'll say the second best game of the day. Ole Miss is going down to Athens. They're going up to Athens. They got to go take on the Georgia Bulldogs at 3:30. That game will be on ABC. Who you got in this one, Brandon? What are your thoughts on this game and who you think is gonna win
Give me 1 second. I got something for us. I got something for us today.
it?
Give me the Ole Miss Rebels going up to Georgia. They're gonna get that
uh,
dub.
you got old. No, I can't.
I got Ole Miss
Oh,
by a
hottie
touchdown.
toddy. So right now the line on that game is Georgia by 7.5. I think Ole Miss will cover that 7.5 spread, but but I think it is gonna come offense versus defense. Lane versus Kirby, and while Lane Kiffin is a brilliant offensive mind, Kirby Smart learned defense from the best to do it. And while they did win national championships together, I'm gonna have to give the nod to I'm gonna have to get a nod to Georgia and Kirby Smart. He's done it. He's done it. He's won these big games, and I think these are kind of the big games that Ole Miss has to get over. Though, like this is kind of the. I'm not gonna say they're kind of like Penn State because they've won some big games, but haven't competed for a SEC championship. They've always kind of been right there, but haven't been able to beat your Georgia, your Alabama, and which it kind of just continues to put them in the same spot they're in. And I don't think that's going to change today. But I do think, oh, I don't think that's going to change today, but I do think my boy Lane Kiffin is going to get a contract extension just because they haven't. Just because Penn State and them, they don't want them to even try to talk to Lane Kiffin. Kirby Smart probably going to be getting a contract extension somewhere in here sometime soon, man. But our next game, Texas Tech is undefeated and number 7 in the country. They take on 4-2 Arizona State, and I just want to see Texas Tech get beat. Honestly, Arizona State has 2 losses on the season, to one to Mississippi State and the other to Utah. I think we've come to see that this Mississippi State team is a pretty good football team. They got Florida today, but I think this Mississippi State team is pretty good. Um, while I want Texas Tech to win this game, or I want Arizona State to win this game, but I think Texas Tech is undoubtedly the best team in the conference. When you look, they're 6-0. There isn't position across the board. They really have anybody that can match up. I hope Sam Levitt is coming back for this game. Um, and if he's back, I will at least give them a chance to compete. Um, yeah, I'll at least give them a chance to compete. Yo, Brandon. No, I don't know if he's back, but I 6.5. I think for this conference game might be a bit much. Um, so I think I'll take Arizona State to cover the spread, but Texas Tech will probably go in there and pull out the win. Oh man, and then it's the third weekend in October, the best game of the day. Depending on who you are. If you're a Tennessee fan, probably not, because the Tide will roll again today against number 11 Tennessee. We saw Georgia was just able to come back and beat them. I I think this Alabama Tennessee game comes down to offense, and I think Kalen DeBoer is a much better offensive coordinator, play caller, play designer. Him and Christian Grubbs, or uh, Christian, I think that's his name. Um, Offensive coordinator for Alabama. The, the way they've been cooking the past few games have been crazy. Started with that Georgia game. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with Caden Proctor this game. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take the Tide at home. We won't be hearing too much Rocky Top being played tonight. Oh man, and then really what is seen to really be a playoff game. Number 20 USC at 5-1 is going to Notre Dame, take on number 13 Notre Dame. I don't. First of all, I don't understand or know how Notre Dame is ranked number 13. Granted, they have losses to, I don't know if you want to call them. I, I put Texas A&M on the same playing field as Ole Miss, and I don't think they're that good this year. They're a good football team, but do I think they're going to go compete for a SEC championship or win a national championship? No. We see what Miami is. Those are Notre Dame's 2 losses. They beat Arkansas, Boise, and NC State. I think and after seeing USC really get that win last week um against Michigan in a manner that we didn't necessarily think USC and Lincoln Riley could win, because that's not the way they've really played football. Oh, what's good, Brandon? So we can. You good?
I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but
Oh
yeah, I'm
no, you
good now.
good. You're good, man. You kind of want to. We'll go. we'll go back to this Texas Tech Arizona State game. Texas Tech at 6-0. They're number 7 in the country. They're taking on Arizona State, who's 4-2. Their two losses have Arizona State's two losses came against. Oh, hold on, let me see. I think Utah and yeah, Utah and Mississippi State. Um, we saw Texas Tech went to Utah, dominated Utah. Arizona State, Arizona State just I think Sam Levitt will be back this week. Um, but yeah, who do you have in that game?
Yeah, I think Texas Tech, like we were talking about earlier, with how much money they've dumped into their players with through NIL, they've gotten some of the best players in the country. The
Yeah,
coaching staff, coaching scheme seems to be doing really well so far. I think Texas Tech is not going to have many issues in this game.
yeah. And then like I said, it's the best game of the day. Just depending on who you're asking. If you're a Tennessee fan, maybe not. They usually don't have the best luck on the third weekend in October. They're coming down to Tuscaloosa to take on the Tide. I kind of said this game really comes down to offense, um, and I think Christian Grubbs and Kalen DeBoer are just better offensive minded coaches than Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel, likes to spread you out, use all 53 yards. Who you got in that one?
Should be a very unique, or I guess unique's not the word there. I think it's another great iteration of this rivalry. But like you said, I think Alabama overall has found their their identity this season.
Mm,
Obviously, with the early season loss to Florida State, they have 100% bounce back. Quarterback at Bama's playing his ASS off. He's might be a front runner for the Heisman Trophy at the end of the season. So if he does what he's supposed to do today, I don't think Alabama should have many issues. But granted, Tennessee, we've talked about it before. We were worried about how well their quarterback is going to play, being an Appalachian State transfer and
mm-hmm.
actually winning the job at Tennessee. We thought he was going to struggle against, I forgot who they played early in the year, but they went up to overtime. He only threw one incompletion in that game. I think it was like 14 for 15 for like 200 some yards and a few touchdowns. So it seems like he's going to be playing well. So once again, should be a high powered offense versus another high powered offense.
Yeah,
I think Bama should win this one.
yeah. I just think they gave, well, not think, I know and saw they gave up 40 to Georgia. Georgia ain't put up 40 points on on nobody. Like Alabama will probably put up 60. Good luck to Tennessee today.
Good luck.
uh,
Good luck.
and then I was touching on this USC game. USC goes to Notre Dame for what is probably this game is for a playoff spot essentially. Um, but I was saying I don't understand how Notre Dame is ranked 13th in the country. Notre Dame has lost to Miami, and they lost to who else did they lose to? Um, because it was it
It was
was
early in
it
the
was two
season. They
back to
went like
back.
0-2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was two
Yeah, they went
back to
0-2 to start.
Texas A&M, and I think we're kind of seeing what Miami is, whether you like it or not. Miami just isn't. I don't think a national championship team, and neither do I. I don't feel that way about Texas A&M either. Granted, Texas A&M is having a really good season, but I kind of put them in the same realm as Ole Miss. They're going to win 9, maybe 10 games, but they're not playing for a conference championship, and damn sure not playing for a national championship. So to be ranked 13th is blasphemy to me. And that's exactly why I think they're going to go in. USC is going to come into South Bend and drag them tonight.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I think Notre Dame, as we've seen from years past, has been overrated year in and year out. Now, granted, last year they had a really good run. Obviously, was able to knock off Penn State in the playoffs. Had a really good shot at the national championship. But once again, we look back outside of that. What accolades do they have that can prove over the last 50 years they are deserving of a top 10 spot every single year?
They don't have
They don't
one.
have a conference championship because they don't play for a conference. They have a couple regular season wins, sure you can account for, but a couple playoff wins, no national championships. It's like they're just in the same boat as a lot of other programs. They that are now also not in the top 10. So
But because they won some
uh,
national championships in the 70s and 80s, well, we're just supposed to continue to talk about them. Get the hell out of here.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what's the basketball saying? We're done with the '90s. Yeah, we're done with
Yeah,
the '80s in football
yeah,
already. Okay, yeah, we're done with that.
yeah.
We've evolutionized past that. But yeah, I think USC is going to give them a really good game, and like you said, it should be for keeping their playoff hopes alive on both sides of the ball, or both teams rather.
Yeah, and I think you also look at the way USC beat Michigan last week, and the way they beat Michigan, they were able to line up and run the football against Michigan. I think they're going to do it again today against Notre Dame. Oh man, and then the what they call this, the Holy War, the Holy War between number 23 Utah and number 15 BYU. Man, BYU is quietly undefeated. They honestly should have lost to Colorado, but that's neither here nor there. That Big 12 though is interesting. That's one of those. Big 12 is always interesting. I'm gonna take Utah in this one. What's DMP or D Devin DMP? I don't even know how to pronounce it. I don't even know what his what's. Oh, Dampier. Okay, Devin Dampier. I just think he's gonna outplay Bear Bachmeyer, true freshman. And I think that's all it's gonna come down to. In a rivalry game, it's his first. I'll take Utah in that one.
Yeah, like you said, BYU quietly has had a really good season so far. Are they in the top 10 now, or are they like still at like 15?
BYU's 15th.
Okay, I thought they were 15. So, um, it's tough, man. Because I mean, both these teams 100% have the weapons to go out and beat each other.
Oh yeah.
Just like you said, who's going to come down? Which team is going to have the less mistakes? Which team is going to be able to put the points up early and kind of hold the pressure on for the rest of the game? It honestly can go either way, but I think I'm going to take BYU here. I think historically over the last like
Mm.
5 years or so, they've done a little bit better than Utah, which is crazy to say because I know Utah has also done really well. But like once again, BYU's just quietly over the last 5 years have been really good program.
Yeah. No, they have they have. Oh man. Now over in the NFL, Brandon. We saw two 40-year-olds go at it Thursday night, Brandon. And I'm talking
Unquote.
about play some real football. Like these kids these days don't play football like this no more, man. We had 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers go 23 of 34 for 249, four touchdowns and two interceptions. And damn 40-year-old Joe Flacco went 31 for 47 for 342 and three touchdowns. And Jamar Chase had 23 targets. 23 is ridiculous. Before I really started getting rolling on this game, Brandon, Bengals get the home win Thursday night, 33-31. What were kind of your thoughts and takeaways on this game?
Well, first and foremost, great quarterback play on both sides of the ball.
Great.
I personally love seeing our generation of quarterbacks. The 2010s guys,
Yeah.
the golden era of quarterbacks, as I like to kind of call them. I love seeing those guys still being able to compete at 41 and 40 years old. We will probably never see another matchup like this, at least not for another 10, 15 years,
Oh
right? And
yeah.
at that point, it's going to be Allen and Mahomes, or Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott or something like two 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 guys that we grew up watching and loving, still competing at a high level. Love to see it first and foremost. But either way, take away from this game specifically, I was shocked that the Bengals were able to pull this out. Obviously, with Flacco being traded, not even just 2 weeks prior, going in and now collecting big conference standing wins or divisional wins. That's a very high implication for a playoff team, and I think the Bengals so far obviously have struggled, but if they can continue to just win the games in their division, they're going to end up with that wild card spot or even that number 4 spot, right? Like they'll be fine.
I mean, they're definitely just trying to stay afloat until Joey B gets back. But This is exactly what the fuck Mike Tomlin was talking about, bro. You don't have a quarterback on that roster. Jake Browning had that offense looking abysmal. They could not.
Mhm.
They couldn't get past the 50-yard line. Put in Joey Flacco. Joey Flacco. Boy, I don't know what I expected. I know Joe Flacco wasn't going to just be a game manager. That's not Joe Flacco's game. Like Joe Flacco is going to throw the ball around. He's going to throw some interceptions. That Joe Flacco, when he was in his prime at his peak, he was going to throw for a lot of yards, throw some touchdowns. But he was going to throw some interceptions also. And so
Mhm.
I don't know what to say because I mean this just continues to prove how bad the Browns are as an organization. Like what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, the Browns as a whole have struggled. And I thought Baker was a great pickup for him in their draft in what 2018, 2019.
Bro took him
They've
to the playoffs for the
turned the
first
program
time
around
in
with
how
Baker.
long?
Yeah, I mean literally turn him around and you ship him off and then obviously have not done anything since. So it serves them right. And
And
obviously
now these
Baker's doing very well
jackasses
now.
are
So
talking about they don't want to get rid of Shador Sanders because they don't want it to be a Baker Mayfield situation. Get the fuck. You see what the hell you just did with Joe Flacco?
like come on, man. Like it's obviously not the quarterback that's the issue here.
No, no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. But let's look at some of the other games today. The the Eagles take on, I mean, not today, damn. Today's Saturday, tomorrow. Oh man, the Eagles take on the Vikings. They're 4-2. We'll kind of run through these games real quick. The Giants at the Broncos. The Colts. Colts are damn good this year. I don't know. They're going into LA to take on the Chargers. Washington coming off a bad loss to the Bears. Oh man. They got the Cowboys this week. Falcons 49ers. Mac Jones has been dealing. And hey, ever since them Falcons got 30-0 by the Panthers, they've been beating the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, they really
Hey.
have.
And then I think the best game will probably be Monday night when the Bucks take on the Lions. That'll be a great game, man. But Brandon, just kind of looking at some of these games, what games stand out to you? And yeah,
I think the few that stick out to me out of this list is this Colts and Chargers game. Obviously, Chargers started off, I believe, like 1-2 to start the season, but have now kind of turned it around. 4-2. That's going to be really good matchup. Obviously, Colts surprised everybody coming out the gate on fire. I think they started off 4-0, and nobody expected that. So that should be another really good game.
I
I
got a
think we're
question for
starting to
you
get to
about
the
that
point
one.
now where we're
Do
say
you
what?
are you signing Daniel? Is Daniel Jones your franchise quarterback after this season?
That's what I was about to bring up. I think we're getting to the point now where Daniel Jones is either going to continue to prove himself as saying like, "Hey, I wasn't the issue in New York," or we're going to see where Daniel Jones is saying, "Hey, I was the issue in New York." So these next like 3 to 4 games are really going to determine where he falls if he's going to if he's going to resign or if he was just like kind of had the hot hand for a good couple months and then now he's out of it and he's going back to the Daniel Jones that we've seen in New York. So I
But
think these next 3 to 4 games are really going to determine that.
I'm with you, and because I think even if I just think regardless, you see that he wasn't a problem in New York.
Mm.
Everybody that played in New York, not everybody, the two key components that were in New York, Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, are both playing well for other teams, and I just think it's that simple. I don't know if it's over for Dayball. I don't know. I mean, I maybe not though because hell, the general manager ain't smart. Hell, he don't want that damn let Saquon walk out the door. So
Yeah.
maybe not. Um, Eagles have to get a win this week. Um, Eagles have to get a win this week to start off 4-0 and then lose three straight. If they lose this week, is AJ Brown gone?
It depends. That's so tough because it depends. Obviously, he has not gotten the production or even the targets that we've expected him to get so far this year. I think that's already been addressed and has been an issue for really the last couple of seasons now.
Yeah.
I think it's a week by week scenario, to be honest. I know the trade deadline's coming up. I don't know if he even gets like 5 targets or 5 catches this game. I think it's enough to keep him to the next week, and then after that, it's enough to keep him for the next week, and then by then the trade deadline is up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. If he does get traded, though, Jordan, where do you think he's going to go?
James Franklin is on game day right now. But where he would go, Tampa Bay.
Ooh, oh, oh, that would be nasty.
You
That
just
would
gotta
be
find
nasty.
because I think at this point we're getting to like getting close to the trade deadline. We've got to find buy. We have buyers and sellers at this point. I think if the Bengals would have lost Thursday night, they would Trey Hendrickson would have been out of there. But at this point, I say Bengals, but maybe I mean I say Tampa Bay, maybe Vegas, maybe Las Vegas though because they don't have a number one receiver outside of they just got Brock Bowers, but he's hurt. Um, I don't know because it's just a lot of teams have their receiving cores together, so I don't know.
Yeah. I saw a thing on Twitter that said Vrabel's going to pick him up in New England because they
Yeah,
were that was his head coach whenever they were in Tennessee together. So
yeah,
I could 100%
but
see that, and obviously Stephon there's too. That would be a nasty 1-2 combo. And
yeah,
Drake
but
May's
they
playing
both
out of
want
his
the
mind this
ball.
year so far. So
But they both want the ball. Not
yeah,
enough
they do.
football to go. I don't think there's enough football to go around with them too. Unless you're throwing the ball 50 times a game, and each of them are getting, and between those 50 passes, they're getting those two are getting 30 targets. I just
Yeah,
don't think there's enough football to go around because we've seen each of them, winning or losing, they want the ball.
they get the
They
ball
want the
for
ball.
sure, for
So
sure.
I don't. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea because I think after the Patriots beat the Bills, the Patriots are in Super Bowl mode. Like we can compete with the quarterback on a rookie contract. We can go play for a Super Bowl. So I mean, it wouldn't be bad. Hey, I mean, if Howie Roseman wants to be like the Browns and make a interdivision trade, hell, bring him on to the Washington. Shit, we'll get him the ball. Hell, we can't keep a receiver healthy right now.
Yeah, yeah, you guys are struggling, man.
And yeah, Bucks Lions though. Who you think pulls that one out?
Dude, I'll be honest, Baker Mayfield right now is my
MVP.
MVP front runner. Yeah,
MVP.
I mean, he's just playing absolutely out of his mind. I think this is a Baker that he's playing at his absolute best football right now. He is at his peak. If this is what his peak is, it should be an MVP league or an MVP season for him because I mean, no one. I think he has 1 interception so far in the year. We're going into week 6,
Oh
week
yeah,
7, and
dude's balling.
you're only turning the ball one time. You're starting receivers out. You're you're playing with
Just
freshman or
starting.
sorry,
They're
not
down
freshman.
to like they're down to who is this? Who are these guys out here catching the ball? And
Is that Jordan Barrett on the field catching the field? Is that Brandon
no,
Bolins at tight end? Like, who are
literally,
these guys?
literally, who are these guys?
Who are these guys? But no, yeah. In all seriousness, he's doing it and doing it well with guys that aren't quote unquote superstars in the league.
Mhm.
So I think that just even elevates his case for MVP even more. So I hope and I pray that the Bucks win this game because the Lions, as a Bears fan, I hope the Lions lose always.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, man. That's all I got. Hey, you got anything for us? Any D3 ball? Any D2 ball today?
I I got one. I got one. All right, question. Would you rather have an offense that averages 49 points a game? Okay. Or would you rather have a defense that only gives up on average 8 points a game?
Okay. The football in me says defense. 8 points. I can damn kick. I can get a team in field goal range 3 times in a game. I can kick them 3 field goals. Okay. Damn, 49 points. Shit. 40, 49 points. Hell, our offense is our defense. That's me. That's me talking. Now football mine says give me the defense. But me, give me the offense. Give me the I'll take my
Yeah,
49
for sure.
points.
For sure. If I'm a coach, I'm definitely getting the defense because I think obviously the old saying defense wins championships. But as an offensive quarterback, obviously 49 a game, I would be very happy in that offense. Well, Jordan, what if I told you that North Central happens to have both at the same time right now?
Ooh.
They are top 10 in the country in both categories. Um, they are rolling and they are our favorite to win the national championship again. They
Yeah.
won it, I believe, 2 years ago now. So
Jeez.
they have a really good shot at it. A couple other teams that are ranked in the top
Okay,
10
hold
on
on.
both
My bad.
sides
My
of the
bad. I don't mean
ball.
to cut you off, but you're telling me their average is beating teams by 41 points a game. They're
Yeah,
averaging. That's an. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Is this one of
It's
these
I mean it's
schools? Is this one of these schools in Wisconsin where they're getting all these D1 players? Like, what is happening?
I think North Central. I think they're in Iowa or they're in some. They're
Oh
another like
shit.
Midwest state. I don't know
The
where exactly they're at. Maybe
cornbread
Illinois.
fed, cornbread fed
Y-
motherfuckers.
Exactly, exactly.
Golly.
But yeah, there's a couple other schools ranked in the top 10 in both. Well, not number one, but just the first one on the list is Monmouth, not Division One Monmouth. There's the Division Three Monmouth,
Okay.
um, Bethel University, and then Adrian. I don't know if you remember, but we were talking in I believe week one of the college football series or week one of college football this year, and Adrian was the Division Three team that went out and beat the Division One team, FCS Valpo.
Mm-hmm.
That was that school. So it was not a fluke. Adrian is for real,
They're
and
for real. This, yeah.
they are for real. So I would not be surprised if we see both the any three of these teams in the playoffs. Hell, even the national championship at the end of the year.
Like, we will definitely keep our eye out on. I mean, college football. How do you not just love college football? I don't understand, especially these NFL people. I only watch NFL football. I only watching NFL. I saw somebody say it. Okay, I think the most average, like if I take, hell, there are damn 300 plus, 500 plus colleges across the country. If I take an average college football game, I'm not talking SEC and not talking big, just your average college football game. Yes, that might be better than your average NFL game. Just a matter of skill and whatnot. Your highest level of I mean college football games though, I will outside of maybe the Super Bowl, I will take any big time SEC, big time Big Ten football game over a regular Sunday night or Sunday, Thursday, Monday NFL game. And it's a lot of it has to do with the environment, the fans, but it's just like when you just watch the sport, it's so electric, like so much energy. Like I just don't
Yeah,
understand. I just don't understand it.
it's unique. I think the environment of college football is definitely what separates it from the NFL. You do so
Hmm.
you go to a college game, you can get blackout drunk with five or excuse me 50,000 other people in the stands doing the exact same thing,
At
screaming your
least
head off. You go
if it's
you go
not
do
if it's
that.
not 110,
Yeah,
110,000
exactly.
motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, you go to Tennessee or Michigan, there's 110,000 doing it. But you take that to an NFL game and you get blackout, they're throwing you out. They're like, all right, guys, you gotta go.
yeah,
It's like, come on, man.
yeah,
I'm trying to bring the energy for the Gators. Who are. It's like, nah, man, you're out. You're done for.
yeah. I never even thought about it that way, but yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it, man. Hey, but I appreciate y'all joining us for another episode. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, turn on the notification bells. Hey, and let us know who y'all want for next week's game of the week. Give us some of y'all's predictions as we get ready for this Saturday and Sunday. Oh man, but hey, we'll be back next week with more high school, college football, and NFL talk, man. Hey, we'll catch y'all next week.